Just think about this. Imagine an Airbus 380. That's the double-decker airplane used for very long flights that can carry up to 538 passengers on the main deck and 330 on the upper for a total of 868 passengers. Now fully loaded with people. And again, and again, and do it enough times until you have 46 of these fully loaded planes. That's the total amount of people that died in 2017 from a traffic fatality in the United States. This amounts to one death almost every 13 minutes. According to the World Health Organization, motor vehicle crashes claim the lives of more than 1.3 million people annually across the globe. That's more than the entire population of the state of Maine. But before we get into the weeds of asking if recessions can be predicted by traffic fatalities, we need to understand the basics of a motor vehicle crash. Motor vehicle crashes are rare and random events that can be attributed to three different components: the environment, the vehicle, and the driver. A recession has a substantial impact on the driver component. You see, the number of fatalities in motor vehicle crashes is nothing more than the product of risk times exposure. The more a person drives, the greater the exposure. We call this exposure vehicle miles traveled, VMT. On the other hand, we call the traffic fatality rates, fatalities VMT, the risk. If the exposure goes down, the fatalities go down. If the risk goes down, fatalities goes down. But during the last recession, which of the two went down? That's easy, you might be thinking. During a recession, unemployment rate rises, consumer purchases fall off, and people drive less. So the vehicle's miles driven went down. Makes sense, right? Well, the thing is, when you look at the data for vehicle miles driven in the U.S., it didn't really change that much during the last recession. From years 2007 to 2009, the vehicle miles traveled went down by only 3%. But if you look at the fatality rate of certain age group of drivers, the recession affected some more than others, especially younger drivers. A recession drives up unemployment, particularly among teens and young adults, and declining median income that likely reduce driving and risky driving. So if we want to reduce traffic fatalities, we just need to have recessions more frequently or forever, right? Not so fast. If you look at the last 40 years, yes, significant drops in traffic fatalities have been the precedent of economic recessions. But overall, traffic fatalities have been trending downward because of other factors that affect traffic safety, such as highway funding, safety campaigns, seatbelt laws, and law enforcement. For example, let's look at seatbelt laws. The first seatbelt federal law took effect in 1968, requiring manufacturers to fit seatbelts into vehicles. Yet the use of seatbelts didn't become mandatory until each state in the U.S. established their own seatbelt laws. In 1984, New York became the first state to mandate that drivers use a seatbelt. Over the next 11 years, 48 other states instituted seatbelt use laws. New Hampshire is the only U.S. state without a seatbelt use law for drivers. And while these long-term factors are known to affect traffic safety in the long run, recessions have a greater short-term impact preceding recessions.